What up, y'all? And welcome to another Be Real with D Real, where edutainment is what I do. Today is Monday, so Monday, it's usually a day we start off dropping knowledge. So I'm gonna drop a little knowledge on y'all, and I'm continuing to do my thing with George Perez, because man, I'm still taking this and feeling some kind of way about it. I'm like, man, we losing all our greats, man, and it's just. I don't know, it's really weird to me. But then it occurred to me that there are a lot of characters that we would not have if it wasn't for George Perez himself or a collaboration that George Perez did. And today's video is simply going to be the top 5 things in comics you wouldn't have if it weren't for George Perez. Now, before I get off into this top 5, I want y'all to do what y'all always do for me. Comment, like, and subscribe to the Be Real with D Real page so that you can get alerts when I put up new videos and so that I can climb the rankings and be that cat. Okay. Without further ado, number 5, Taskmaster. Now, we're doing all this talking about Taskmaster or that pseudo knockoff Taskmaster that we saw in Black Widow. I know he's really upset about that. I'm sorry, George, that they did that to your character, but I sympathize with you. The Taskmaster, or Tony Masters, as we know him, made his debut in Avengers number 195 in May of 1980 in a story written by David Michelinie and, of course, illustrated by George Perez. Taskmaster is a character that we see all the time, constantly throughout comics, appearing in different places. He's fought Daredevil, he's fought Iron Fist, and in his very first outing, fought the Avengers to a standstill and escaped. Speaking of another character who can fight whole teams to a standstill and was also created by George Perez, is the one, the only Deathstroke. Now, Deathstroke made his debut all the way back in New Teen Titans number 2, December 1980, made in part by the collaborative effort of one Marv Wolfman and, of course, George Perez. Marv Wolfman and George Perez linked up a lot, and they basically created the entire Teen Titans universe. So if you rock with Teen Titans, automatically you rock with George Perez. Basically, Slade Wilson is this, got that military background, that basic kind of stuff. And he got injected with a formula that gave him 3 times the strength, reaction time, agility, all that of normal human. For some reason, that gives him the ability with his weapon skill to take on the entire roster of the Teen Titans at the time, who boasted characters like Starfire, Cyborg, Raven, and Beast Boy. And later on, during Identity Crisis, he took on the Justice League, handled them in short order. On top of that, they had to get Ruthless, to get rid of him. But Deathstroke is a character who's appeared in all forms of media, comics, movies, animated features. Deathstroke is a staple. He is so popular that Marvel decided to create a character based on him. Deadpool. We ain't gonna go into that old chestnut. Number 3 for George Perez things is actually 3 things, or 3 people, should I say. I am including them as one because they all made their debut in the same comic. I am, of course, talking about Cyborg, Raven, and Starfire. Now, you tell me Cyborg, Raven, and Starfire ain't household names. They made their debut in a side story in DC Comics Presents number 26 in October of 1980. George Perez was busy in 1980. But we saw the debut of these characters. And that means the creation of the mythos that surrounds them. Silas Stone and Star, Azarath. Remember Teen Titans, Azarath, Metreon, Zenthos, Azarath. That's the world Raven's from, and of course Tamaran and all of the Tamaran stuff that is surrounded in that mythos. And Starfire has been regarded as, in many instances, one of, if not the sexiest female character in comics. I know that could be hotly contested, but because of the nature of how she learns languages and her real flirtatious and friendly nature, that equates into sexy for a lot of people. Cyborg, of course, is a household name. He's been in movies, he's been in cartoons, he's been in comic books, he's been in video games. Raven, same thing. Come on now, this is a huge portion of the Teen Titans that we're talking about. If not for them, arguably, you probably wouldn't have a new Teen Titans. Which brings me to number two. The number two thing that George Perez is best known for: Crisis on Infinite Earths. Now, Crisis on Infinite Earths was a comic book miniseries that ran for 12 issues between April of 1985 and March of 1986. It basically saw the convoluted DC universe that had like 4 or 5 Earths and superheroes bouncing back and forth in between these different Earths, which was kind of confusing and convoluted. They decided Mr. Perez and my man, oh my goodness, Marv Wolfman, his boy, who he was working with again, Dick Giordano had a hand in Crisis also. But basically, it took a creature called the Anti-Monitor going around and just destroying entire universes before all of these characters finally came together, and the ones that were destroyed were recreated as new characters on this one contingent Earth. We also saw, the birth of not the birth, but the rise of the Olympian gods in the form that we've seen them in DC Comics, largely because of those issues. And of course, like I said, George Perez, Crisis on Infinite Earths was the story of 1985. I don't know anybody who wasn't reading Crisis on Infinite Earths. And if you're reading it, that means you was looking at the amazing artwork of George Perez, who knows how to cram the hell out of characters on a page. Now, that was number two. And that was probably like the staple of his career. So what do you think number one is? Gots to be the Infinity Gauntlet. Another mini series. This one ran for 6 issues between July of 1991 and December of 1991. And I don't think there is a soul on Earth that doesn't know what the Infinity Gauntlet is. It may have been changed and rearranged a little bit in the MCU, but the case is clear. 6 stones, 1 gauntlet, You basically control the universe. This brought out all kinds of heroes and cosmic beings. Also, because this is a cosmic story, George Perez had to help tell it with none other than Jim Starlin. My man is known for cosmic outer space stuff. Cosmic Odyssey over at DC, Captain Marvel, and I mean the Marvel Captain Marvel, and of course, Adam Warlock, along with a couple of other ones. But basically, the Infinity Gauntlet changed the way we looked at omnipotent beings. It also made us see, hey, Thanos ain't no joke. He's that cat. And for a second there, it looked like Thanos was going to win. But if you ain't ever read the Infinity Gauntlet, it's in trade paperback form, it's in graphic novel form, all that. You can pick it up, read all 6 issues. Trust me, you will be dazzled by the pictures as well as engrossed in the story. That's my top 5 for George Perez. And trust and believe, you wouldn't have a lot of things going on in comics if it wasn't for those 5 things. What do y'all think? Is there something George Perez done that y'all think is more important? I know a lot of y'all gonna be like, Nightwing, Nightwing, Nightwing. Okay, Nightwing's cool, but I still don't think Nightwing tops anything on this list. If you can find something that can top this list, or something on the list, drop it in the comments. Please drop it in the comments, and we will talk about it. As always, comment, like, and subscribe to the Be Real with D Real page. I'll be coming at you with another one of them other ones. And until I am, y'all be good and be good to each other.